Brothers, we have got a long one today because it was a hot week, so let's jump into the content. Just a little reminder where we left off last time. This is the final week, and the playoff picture is not decided at all, okay? So FMP and PIP are the only ones decided. FMP's in, PIP is not. CGO can get in if like a lot of people lose and they win. LTG is probably the most likely to make it. Team Liquidation is like almost clinched, but if they lose and then some other people like all win, like things can go wrong. So anyway, long story short, LTG, Emo, Team Liquidation, and CGO all fighting for playoff berth, but only 2 of them can make it, okay? So let's jump into the freaking games this week, starting off with a doozy. This is, oh, why is my, I gotta change, let me go ahead and put myself down here. It's like, okay, much better. Starting off with a doozy, FMP Sherry, who is the person on the bottom left of this, prematurely. He is, he dies on turn 2 and then is revived, okay? But we're gonna have to come back to that. We're gonna see this guy a couple of times, so let's just jump into the next highlight. Highlight 2, Battle of My Dads. And listen, somebody's gotta remind me to change these views every time I get in here, okay? Battle of My Dads ends in a Haxie 6-0. So we've got Daddy on the left and Poppy on the right. And you just hate to see it happen like this. Ooh. Let me tell you, I've been playing Clef. I played a Clef one time when I had a Nihilego, I had a Bronzong, I had a Venusaur, and sometimes these Clefs just get like 1 or 2 boosts, and then it's like you're missing your Nature's Madnesses, you're missing your Sleep Powders, and then it's just, what are you gonna do, you know? If he hit the Nature's Madness, he could probably like Z-move with Zero to try to get the kill, but at that point it's just good night, Clefable, wraps up the 6-0, very rude. Okay, switching back to the Google Slides view. All right, jumping back into that FMP Sherry game, checking back in on this. This is highlight 1.1. FMP Sherry, not only does he die on turn 2 and then revive, he also dies and revives on turn 3. Second disconnection, if you see it in the chat there, turn 3. Prematurely leaves, and he prematurely joins, which is kind of a funny name. So I might be running through some of these highlights this week, but like there's so many, we gotta get through these quick, okay? We are going back to the replay view because we have Bubba. Oh my gosh, I don't think okay, Bubba has been having a pretty dope season. I think he ends 3-1 on the year. I don't think I've shown a single Bubba highlight, so if I haven't, Bubba, very sorry, but check this out. This is like potential honorable mention for like play of the season. So this Shaman has been coming in and resting and getting out all game long. Finally, he gets himself in here and gets the chance to Swords Dance. And you do not see a Swords Dance Shaman often. And this generation, it also gets the Trailblaze, which gives it the +2. It gets like a physical attack that can like increase its speed. And unfortunately, it doesn't get the kill there, but getting the +2/+2, if this is like Scarf Latios or something, the Shaman is good. So now we're at +3. We're definitely outspeeding, and Double Edge kills a Latios from full. Okay, what a Bubba. I love that. Such a hot set. Incredible finish to your season. Love that for you, Bubba. We are switching back to the Google Slides view. All right, let's just go ahead and check back in on that FMP Sherry game. Looks like on turn 4 he also disconnects and comes back on turn 4. So that's that is turn 2, turn 3, and turn 4. So big shout outs to Relix for being very patient with my man. We'll check on that game a little bit later. Let's get back to some of the other highlights. PIP's Clay's Wheezing That Could. Tell me, have you ever seen a Wheezing put in more work in the end game than this? It is a Wheezing versus an Urshifu, a Skarmory, and an Ursaring. And this Wheezing, oh, it's on normal. Let me kick this up to fast. This Wheezing just goes sicko mode. It's gonna hit all its fire blasts. Here we go, ready? Bam. Get another one. And it's just because there's no leftovers on that Skarm, it's just out healing or out damaging the roosts. Finally, unfortunate for Zakwi, switches out on the turn that the Fire Blast would have missed, so he finally would have been in a good position. Lives the whatever that like surging strike or liquidation or whatever you use, and then Zakwi with the overpredict expects Clay to go up into the whatever ogre pond this is, and then so he U-turns, but this Weezing comes out here and he has the Rocky helmet, right? And so the Rocky helmet kills the Urshifu, and then Clay can't even memento anymore because the Urshifu is dead. So now he's back out here with the dang Weezing, and the Weezing is just like, you know what? I'm not even gonna set up the dang ogre pond. I'm just gonna do this crap myself. Let me, like, 62 high roll. Zakwi, very unfortunate endgame. That was just the Weezing that could. He got on the freaking train tracks and was like, I think I can. And you know what? You did it, Weezing. Congratulations, brother. Good job. Ooh. Okay, this just in. Checking back in on the FMP Sherry game, we get a disconnection and a reconnection on turn 5 as well. Relix, very patient. Appreciate you, dog. Hopping into the next highlight, PIP shaded. It's Emo Silvestron. First off, Emo Silvestron has been having a great season. He's not a very, like, he doesn't prefer Little Cup, but he's been playing Little Cup all season. He's been popping off, right? He's the one that got the Magikarp play the other week. But, oh man, just that screenshot of the message, NB again, my bad again, like, dodges Air Slash, dodges Hydro Pump, and then on the very last turn of the game, when it was like almost guaranteed that Silvestron was going to win the game, all he had to do was hit one Air Slash against this like 10% Kufan, which probably means he has 2 HP, and the Air Slash misses. Very, very sad. Silvestron, you've been having a great season, dog. Shaded, just goated. How does he do it? Honestly. Oh. Highlight 1.x 25 minutes into the FMP Sherry Davis versus LTG Relix game. Sherry disconnects again and reconnects. So that's turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. I'll leave it up to you guys. You're gonna have to guess what happens on turn 7. I'm not telling you yet, okay? I'm not gonna tell you yet. Anyways, hopping over to FMP Johnny, having a really good season. Congratulations, Johnny, for most wins with a lossless season. He is 4-0, was not able to play week 1 because he got sick, but he's the only 4-0 player that doesn't have or the only player with 4 wins that doesn't have a loss. So congratulations, really great season, Johnny, and honestly was really cheap. Went for, he was probably steal of the season too, honestly. Anyways, getting over to Black and White, we have Aleppo, who is Tago, admin, Team Liquidation. Scizor behind both screens, +2, full health. Not looking good for Kai the Goat in that situation. Tago goes ahead and wins that one. And hot off the press, baby. Sherry Davis does not disconnect on turn 7. We have turn 1 and turn 7. He did not disconnect. I played you guys. I said, you better think about what he's going to do next time. He didn't disconnect on turn 7. We'll catch up with this game a little bit later. Anyway, jumping back into highlight 8. Divinity has a great season as well. Goes 4-1 on the season with a Poliwrath finish. This Poliwrath ends up putting a decent amount of work. It gets a Toxic off on the walking, or a Toxic off on the ground, a Toxic off on the Uxie. And then it also prevents the Walking Wake from flip turning throughout the game. I'm not going to show the whole game, but Divinity, great season, great game. We love to see Poliwrath and Ubers. We love to see it. Now jumping over, we're seeing a lot of CGO this week, honestly. CGO, I feel like I haven't shown a ton of CGO throughout the season, but this week they were just popping off, brother. So replay view and good job, Clay. Primal. CGO Primal, a Little Cup goat, right, goes ahead and he's going to show us why. Oh, somebody turn that sound off. Okay, sorry. Turn that sound off. Turn it off. We don't want it. Primal is going to go ahead and show us why Drifloon is banned in Little Cups. He just goes hard. Ooh, beautiful read. Goes for the Will-O-Wisp on the Sucker Punch. So really, really heads up play by Primal. Gets another Hex off. I believe he also has the Unburden boost from eating the berry juice. I don't know if I showed that, but just like that, baby. He gets +2/+2. He gets the Unburden boost, and then all of a sudden, nothing can kill him. You can't Mach Punch for the win, right? Because he's Ghost type, and then Primal. Strong game, strong game. We love to see a 6-0 with a Drifloon. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Anyways, a couple more games. We got to jump into a lot of games this time, okay? Ooh. Google Slides View. King Rock has been playing Black and White most of the season, so this is, sorry, I forgot to put his name. Here, I'll put his name right now, or his team affiliation. FMP King Rock, there we go. FMP King Rock, obviously they've already clinched playoffs, so King Rock decided to play Little Cup this week, and honestly, makes me want to see King Rock play the Little Cup more, because honestly, this goes pretty hard. I'm going to put this on hyper fast mode just because we have so much to watch. But leading with the Scale Shot, Focus Sash, or sorry, Sturdy Juice. But what I really like is this Revavroom. He is running Parting Shot, Manual Sand Revavroom to get it going for a Sandshrew, and then goes hard. You know, I'm gonna +2. I'm gonna stay out against a Grookey. I believe it's actually Rindo Berry Sandshrew, which is very funny. And then an Amnesia Crabrawler. Like, who does this guy think he is? Right? We see the Memento come out, Trailblaze, Ampharos. That's a pretty cool set too. But the Sandshrew going hard. The Sandshrew going hard. Pretty normal Slowpoke set, I reckon. But what is? It's not Revavroom. What are you called? The Room. Okay. You just love to see it. Really cool sets, and then Dawn Platinum, we really appreciate ending with the explosion finish. That's quite funny. Highly appreciate it. Switch it back over to Google Slides View. Another one with just some sicko mode sets, baby. Let's get over and watch LTG Coach Pez. Just had an interview with him. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. Really appreciate Pez's commentary on his teams and whatnot. There's another one we're going to play sound off. So this is LTG Pez versus FMP C-Diggs, and I'm gonna spoil it a little bit. C-Diggs does end up winning this, but I just love the Pez sets, brother. He's bringing Choice Specs Torkoal Sun, and then not only Choice Specs Torkoal Sun, but also Dragon Dance Photosynthesis Attack Walking Wake. And he's like, you know what? I'm gonna go crazy. Okay, I'm gonna sack my Torkoal. It's also an SD Venusaur. We're bringing SD everything. And pretty close one. Him going Kyurem at the end there, which is like, what is this Endure Selactberry Duraludon? Like, that is hilarious. Going Kyurem. Kyurem's got a decent amount of Fizz Def, so Kyurem's able to thwart the Venusaur ending. But the like, you Endure Select Duraludon. Has anybody ever seen this set before? We love it. So congratulations, C-Diggs, on the win. But Pez, beautiful, beautiful sets. We love to see that. We love to see you bringing the heat in the last week of the game. And finally, we have the wrap up. The wrap up of Highlight 1. Okay. Sherry Davis, 45 minutes into an 8-minute battle. The very patient LTG Relix decides to turn the timer on. Sherry disconnects for his final time and does not return at all. So 45-minute, 8-turn battle. Content. What can I say? Content. GG's. Finally, getting into the game of the week, and then after the game of the week, we have some stuff. I'll be announcing the matchups for the first week of playoffs after this. But first thing first, FMP Scamp versus LTG A Healy. Again, people are going crazy with these sicko mode sets. It's the last week. Like, where was this heat all season long? I want to see it week 1. Okay, it's beautiful in week 5, but I want to see it freaking week 1. Look at this Gothitelle set. Okay, tell me, have you ever seen a Gothitelle like this? Life Orb, okay, Trick Room, Hidden Power, Energy Ball. So it is Life Orb, Trick Room, No Stab, Lead Gothitelle, and it actually goes so hard into Scamp's team, and Scamp has to just try to like switch around it and play around the Trick Room turns and gets the sub up, and he's gonna be able to take care of this Gothitelle now. But like, holy cow, it's so bulky. The Gothitelle doesn't even die. So the Gothitelle takes the Starmie down to like almost no HP, kills the Skarmory, kills a Jolteon, and now we have freaking Life Orb Milotic under Trick Room. These guys are playing like freaking madmen. Look at this. So since it's not a defensive Milotic, the Terrakion's able to clean that up there. You get the Conkeldurr in. I don't even remember how this game ends. I just remember seeing like the first 10 turns of it and being like, holy cow, this is going hard. Like, an Aerial Ace defensive Salamence. That was another thing. It was like, you got the Gothitelle going so hard, and then all of a sudden you have an Aerial Ace defensive Salamence putting like completely walling a Guts Conkeldurr. Like, Guts Conkeldurr is like one of the most ferocious wall breakers of all time. And you're gonna tell me that Salamence is just like roost stalling it, which is hilarious. It comes away with more than half HP. So defensive Salamence with Earthquake, but the Excadrill perfectly EV'd because they were obviously like, oh, you know, it's going to be a defensive Roost Salamence and we're going to be able to take an EQ from it. The Zapdos gets out. It also has Outrage. So maybe it's not even defensive. Maybe it's just an offensive Salamence with offensive 3 attacks Roost. But we see the Outrage, and A Healy getting super greedy here decides not to try to kill the Salamence. He's just going to go for the paralysis and see if he can get away with a lot of HP. So now we have Weavile coming in here. The confusion ends. The Outrage comes down to a Sash. So we have the Weavile. We've seen so many Weaviles end games at +2, and we've also seen a couple just barely miss it. Multiple Weaviles throughout this season have been last mon Weavile gets to +2 sweeps. And then I think last week we saw Daddy's Weavile just barely miss a kill on a Tapu Fini with Poison Jab, and if he would have killed the Tapu Fini, he would have won. And then this Weavile, thankfully it wasn't Quick Attack Terrakion, but that Terrakion just enough HP, man. Ice Punch didn't do it, but man, if he had Icicle Crash this generation, like, could have flinched him or something, or if he had like Low Kick, and we could have seen a Weavile win. But congratulations, Scamp, on winning that game. I think Scamp ends the season 4-1. So congratulations, Scamp, another top player there. But just the sets on that. That was such a just beautiful, beautiful game. I love that one. So that is all of the games for this week, but we got to show the wrap up. So FMP beats LTG 4-1. PIP actually comes away with a win over Emo, so that's PIP's first win of the season, which means because Emo lost, Emo is not going to make the playoffs. And then CGO gets a narrow victory over Team Liquidation, so CGO actually does have slight playoff berth opportunities because Emo lost just like they needed them, but they needed LTG, I think, to lose 5-0 to FMP, and then I think they probably need to like 5-0 Team Liquidation, so it was very narrow. But what we see is LTG does come out on top, Team Liquidation does hold on, and CGO actually narrowly misses the playoff berth. One other funny thing to show here is that there are only 2 teams with positive differential. Fluttermane Pirates obviously went super hard on differential. And of the two teams with positive differential, only one of them has a positive record. So the other team that has positive differential is actually only 2-3. It's like, it's just a funny sight to me. Two teams with a winning record, two teams with positive differential, but you could draw a Venn diagram of them and you would have something in every bubble because they're not the same teams. Honestly, quite funny. So here is the look at the playoffs. Let me move myself again. So week 1 we will have, or the semifinals match will have Team Liquidation versus LTG, and then Flutter Main Pirates have a walk into finals. And then I will show the lineups for Team Liquidation and LTG in a second, but first want to congratulate some of our players. This is probably the final one of the season because this is the end of the regular season. So Johnny is the only undefeated player with 4 wins. So congratulations, Johnny, at top of the MVP chart. Quite a couple 4-1s. Div played Ubers all season, did a really good job. King Rock with that Little Cup win. He played Black and White most of the season, but 4-1 again. Another FMP player, Scamp. LTG Relix and LTG, I put them at the bottom of my rankings at the beginning of the season, and here they are popping off. Relix had a great season, Tez had a great season, Ahili obviously has a great season here. Then we actually see a couple CGOers. Bubba and Poppy also had really great seasons. Unfortunately, they narrowly missed playoffs, but some of their players did really well. Then we see Reg, who is FMP, I believe. And then Zakwi, who I keep saying is LTG, but Zakwi is actually emo. He's not emotional, but he's on the emo flamingos. Okay, I'm not saying anything about Zakwi's emotions. I'm just saying he's on the emo flamingos. Anyway, let's not get into that. I'm not gonna get canceled today. This is the lineup, baby. These are the lineups for semifinals. Lavender Town Gengars versus Team Liquidation. Lavender Town Gengars brings all of their Team 2s, except they bring Team 1 in Ubers. Team Liquidation brings all of their Team 1s, except they bring Team 2 in Ubers. So Naito over Pez, or Naito versus Pez, that's going to be a very close one. I do not know who I am going to pick on that one, but that could be a week deciding game, I believe. Divinity versus Rage, another close one. They've both been having really good seasons. I think Rage might be like 3-2, or yeah, I think Rage might be 3-2 or 3-1, and then Divinity is 4-1. I'd give a slight edge to Divinity, but that could go either way, especially with the offensive style that Rage plays. It's much more volatile. Cran versus Zero. Again, close one. I think Zero has been playing pretty well. I think I'm going to give a slight edge to Zero on that one. Daddy Relix. It's another one that can go either way. My pick... Okay. My pick for Daddy versus Relix... Damn, that's like such a... Like, Naito Pez and Daddy Relix both feel like such 50-50. And it's also funny because it's the battle of the coaches, right? We have two coach matchups. I'm going to say... one of them's going to go one way and one of them's going to go the other way. Tago Ahili, both really strong players. Tago with Team 1, I believe that's the Sandstall team, the one that the Reuniclus always gets hacked out on. I think if Ahili, obviously the old gen's GOAT, despite not knowing the old gen mechanics. But if Tago can avoid some hacks, I think that I would take Tago on that one. So if I say Regional and Usum are split, I narrowly take Tago, I narrowly take Zero, I narrowly take Divinity, I think. I'm going to call it 3-2 in Team Liquidation's favor, but I could easily see it going 4-1 in either team's favor. Like, this is so much more 50-50 than I thought it was going to be at the beginning of the season. After seeing these players play and seeing how the teams are performing, I'm going to say really 50-50 matchup, and I'm looking forward to this. I'm not going to do a whole team breakdown, but for finals, I will do an actual matchup breaking down. So that is it for today. I hope you all have a beautiful day, and I will catch you all next time.